All right. Can't really hear the music, can you? Yeah, you kind of can. Okay. Let me figure this situation out. Don't know why it doesn't share it on my... Monday morning. Well, it's Monday afternoon, actually. Let's get stuck in to some charts. Yo, what's up, Moha? How you doing, brother? Let's get stuck into some analysis. We'll go over the DXY first. Maybe I'll make this one dotted instead. That's a bit nicer. Yes, all good, brother. Just finish my lunch, grab myself a coffee. Ready for a nice little chill sesh. Go over some charts. I wonder if it looks better if we go light. No, that does not look better. Alright, we'll stick with dark for now. I might just I was gonna say post on the socials, but let's see. Quiet this afternoon. Not too many people in here. Yeah, right, let's look at DXY, shall we? Weekly. I need to change all this actually, so we don't get all this mess on the weekly chart. It's kind of funny how this BPR is still holding. I think that's pretty mental, the fact that this just held. And this big old trend line as well. Hey, I tell you what, the trend lines ain't no joke. Shout out Tory. The trend lines are no joke. But anyway, quick look at the weekly on DXY. So last week we kind of had this, well, we didn't kind of had, we did have this inside bar candle. So obviously first week of October, we saw a fairly expansive move. Again, we left that no bottom wick, which is always a bit of a giveaway for me that at some point price is gonna, Jesus. Got something right in my throat, right here. Tickling the back of my throat. So, apologies if I make some noises now. Okay, so last week we obviously had this inside bar. So, what does that mean? Range bound market, right? So we didn't see really. Well, we saw no conviction either side. It looks like the wick. It's funny. It looks like the wick and the top wick and the bottom wick are almost identical, along with almost the body as well. So very indecisive week. I think, you know, moving forward, we still have a lot of uncertainty. Fuck it. Let me put this on my socials real quick. We need some more people in here. We're going to bump these numbers up. These are not good enough. What am I going to do? I'll just put a fucking Range Rover as the pick. That's kind of funny. No, that don't look right.
I get my tingles from Bathlon Crumbles.
You do you. Unlimited data for social media.
I'm sick of these ads, bro. Fucking sick of these ads. Oh, that's what I need to do actually. Alright, bear with me just 1 second. Apologies. Apologies for this. Bro, it keeps logging me out. Alright, it's live. Okay, apologies for that. I'm back. So, DXY in the weekly. Choppy, but if I bring out some ICT kind of tools, this is where my eye is. Whatever that means. At least this is the level that I'll be watching. Can we hit these lows? But again, with the amount of uncertainty in the US, and obviously like stuff with China as well, and all that fiasco with tariffs, this could just continue to remain within this range, especially if we see no resolution within that. And obviously, you know, if Congress ever gets back into office, let's actually see. Let's see what Polymarket is saying. When will the US government shutdown end? So, if we're looking at statistics here, let me adjust this. 44%. 44%, at least that's the vote, that November 16th. That's a long time away. It's predicted November 13th, like on average. But that's still a long way away. So this choppiness, this uncertainty could continue. What else do we have? New York mayor, I don't really care about that. Fed decision in October, I think we can all assume it's 25 basis point. But that being said, so this price action could continue to, I think will remain within here moving forward, unless something significant happens. Looking at the daily, I still have this in my throat. So, looking at the daily, quite a number of things you can see. So overall, price action has been quite clearly bearish. So we've had lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, and then this lower low, which didn't quite see any follow through or any conviction lower. So then what happened after that? Obviously we saw a sweep of this July low, failure to close, then we had this nice V-shaped recovery. Again, that's one of my bread and butter signals for a reversal. And what we did see again is this V-shaped recovery, these bearish arrays being disrespected and then being respected as new support. Right? Yo, what's up, Luke? So that after seeing this, you can almost anticipate that price wants to head higher, and clearly we've been continuing to respect all of these bullish arrays, and now again we're still respecting this bullish array. So for me, you would anticipate that price continues higher from a discretionary standpoint. And obviously, you know, we've taken all this quote unquote liquidity. We've reacted from this, you know, BPR as well. So if the bearish trend is going to continue, essentially this high theoretically needs to hold, because once this high gets taken, you can almost be fairly confident that, you know, this is going to be your next point of call. So as long as this remains intact, then I think there's still a possibility for potential downside. And I, you know, again, just from a purely structural market standpoint, we are bearish. Bearish trend, bullish order flow. That makes sense. So, you know, we're still bullish here. Obviously, this needs to be your high that you see hold. And there's some arrays within here, which you can look at now. So again, zooming into this 4 hour, I might just remove this EMA. So on the 4 hour, again, overall high time frame is bearish. You know, we saw the sweep of this low here, big liquidity grab, or whatever the hell you want to call it, a sweep of this level, big injection of price, and then we saw this bullish momentum take over. Upon reaching this, you know, daily and 4 hour array, we've started to see price slow down. I think there may have been there was almost, I mean, you can call it SMT with GU, but you know, not, you do whatever you want, but either way, lower high formed here, then we started to break lower, started to show signs of weakness, and that's you know, now what we're continuing to see. And we do have this supply region that I have drawn in. Again, fucking ads with this bullshit. How do I get something which just doesn't show ads? Anyway, so 4 hour now, I've got this area that I want to see price trade in towards, and then I want to look for shorts out of here. So that would align again nicely with the overall higher time frame. And decent target down here is this volume imbalance that we saw, you know, the first proper week of October, as a bit of a target. Let me just turn this down real quick. YouTube Premium, fuck yeah. Should just get an ad block, really. I don't know why I haven't got an ad block yet. Okay, so that being said, boom, move into here. We'll look for sell-offs. We did actually kind of kiss it right there. I wanted something different, actually. Give me... Where's the circle? Ah, here it is. Take the eclipse off. Saw a slight mitigation there. Then price reacted from it. But again, we're seeing a little bit of a slowdown now. I want to see a further pop higher. Form the high of the week on Tuesday, today or tomorrow. And then start trading lower into this volume imbalance. So that's 4 hour. Again, nothing too much on the H1. Again, a very bearish week. Not too much really of interest there. Weekly open was a bit funky. But again, I'm not going to delve too deeply into that. So look at EU then. So we're clearly seeing some disparity between EU and DXY. I think just given the nature of the price action, the choppiness of it, I think it's kind of inevitable that we see this almost cracking correlation. And obviously, you know, with all the US news happening and everything, you know, I think we'll continue to see more of this moving forward. EU's kind of funky now. Haven't actually drawn out these higher time frame structures, but I'm going to go ahead and draw it now. How did I do it back here? Okay. Okay. And draw out our higher time frame structure, our lows and our highs. This is our low here. Don't even know why I have that drawn in still. I'm going to mark them out with a nice little highlighter tool because it's very cool. So this is our overall structure. You can see clearly respecting, again, continuing to respect bullish arrays. So trend is ultimately bullish. For now, price action is clearly difficult to read because we're kind of in this middle of this whole high time frame chop, essentially. Like if you look at the weekly, we're clearly just within higher time frame chop. So honestly, don't be too concerned if you can't really understand price right now. I think it's quite alright just to look at it, look at these charts and be like, I don't know what the fuck's happening, because that's okay. Like you're not always going to know. You're not always going to have a perfect read on the market, especially with these choppy scenarios, because you can't predict chop, right? Everyone can predict when price is pushing higher. Like that's so easy. But most people, they try to predict in these scenarios, and that's where they blow up, because they're trying to predict as opposed to trying to apply a system. I want to see if I can turn this brightness down a little bit because my face is kind of washed out. Or I can... It's kind of A bit better. Face is not so shiny. Yeah, so I don't really know what's going to happen next. I think we've swept monthly lows, which is clearly good, which again would warrant a push higher, but we did that last month as well. So, you know, just choppy range bound market for now. I don't really care much for anticipating what's going to happen. We can draw in our displacements, our bullish arrays. I'm going to take off these opens just to keep it a little bit simple. Obviously, typically I don't really trade Monday. The only time I'll trade Monday is around New York, so I definitely won't trade London Open. But even then, I'm a little bit hesitant to trade Mondays just based on my data, and you know, based on my system, it's not always the highest probability. So that being said, you're still kind of bearish order flow, but at the same time, I don't think that's really matters in this scenario, because this is just going to do whatever it wants. I think a further pop lower, like if we were to see higher prices, ideally you want to see a pop lower into this daily displacement and then a further move. Obviously, majority of the time our week is dictated by kind of what Monday does, so you can really gauge a lot from how Monday's price action kind of forms. We do have this gap lower still open, so the other alternative is that this continues to roll over and this overall internal bearish price action continues. We start to roll over, then we react from this daily BPR region, this gap if you want to call it. And again, I think that would be quite nice, but again, it kind of contradicts what we're looking at on DXY. So again, just a very difficult market to piece together, and so right now I'm not too concerned about trying to predict. I'm just trying to focus on executing my strategy and my plan. H4, yeah, so H4 is quite clearly looking bearish. You know, our bearish structure is starting to form. We are reacting from H4 supply. If I go great, reacted to our H4 supply, and also this nice volume imbalance as well. This is where we got our Friday shorts, which really clean shorts, very nice, pretty go-to setup type of vibe. How many trades do you want in an average week? I don't want anything from the market, so whatever the market gives me, then I'll take the trade. You know, sometimes it's 5 trades, sometimes it's 0 trades. Take not one. Good. Yeah, so it really ranges, but on average I'm taking about 2 a week, probably between 2 and 4, I guess, if I count dollar CAD. So I mainly trade EU and dollar CAD as a nice combination pair. All right. So let's take a little bit of a closer look at this 4-hour. As you can see, once we reacted to that volume imbalance, you know, we plugged in the high of the week on Friday. We started to, again, see what I talk about over and over is this V-shaped recovery. So we had displacement higher, we had a slowdown, and then we had price displaced lower. So again, that clear V-shaped recovery, which to me very often signals a topping or bottoming out in price. Now, what do we want to see continue from here? So ideally, we need to see this low break if price is to head lower. And I think we do breach this low, in all honesty. You know, the fact that we have broken these bearish arrays, we've closed below, and then we've come back into them, reacted and started to move lower. I think naturally path of least resistance is to these lows here. But again, that doesn't mean you can't take longs within here and then back down potentially, because you know you do have this open area here. So that's H4 on EU. H1, again, not really too much. Change this to dotted. Again, just that Friday high. Price action, some demand lower, which will take some time to reach if we do. I'm going to take, what's my daily low here? So I'm taking this as my sell side. Yeah, which is that Wednesday low. So that's essentially your sell side liquidity region there, at least for me. So yeah, I don't very often do this sort of style of analysis. I think very often it can cause you a lot of confusion. So my goal has always been to have a mechanical model that I don't need to discretionary execute. Anyway, dollar CAD next up. Should I do GU? Maybe I'll just do GU for the shits and gigs. I mean, to be honest, there's really not price action to even look at. Like, what really is that interesting here? Nothing, to be honest. You have a bit of a supply zone up here. Another supply zone here. Is your bias done mechanically as well, or do you involve discretion with that? So I can have a bias, but I don't always trade on my bias. I will most of the time I'm just trading my system, which is done mechanically for the large part of it. For about 90% of my trading is mechanical. Is it raining outside? No, we're good. So GU, I mean, there's just no point in trying to yeah, it's raining. No point really in just trying to analyze or predict this price action, because it's so all over the place. You can spend all day drawing these arrays, but I don't think that really helps. So, moral of the story, I don't know what the fuck GU's doing. And to be honest, I don't really care. Super choppy. Dollar CAD is quite clearly still bullish. High time frame. Yeah, high time frame still just respecting these bullish arrays, and it's that dollar strength is quite clearly taken over. Do have this monthly imbalance drawn in, or displacement drawn in. So at some point, I would like to take a short from here. Again, it's a monthly displacement, so it's kind of whatever. Ideally, I'm taking those previous weekly highs and then looking for shorts. I think that would be the most ideal scenario for me. And I think, again, I think that does happen if we look at this price pattern, or price action, should I say. We've now, holy shit, it's like sunny outside and it's pissing down. Anyway, so we dipped into discount on dollar CAD, swept these Asia lows from Thursday, which I can probably draw in, and then obviously reacted to this overall large H4 demand, if you really want to draw that in. But it's probably going to be a little bit cleaner on the H1. Yeah, so this is that Asia low that I just spoke about. Let me delete this. Let me draw in my overall structure just to get a bit of a better view of price. So the expectation is that the bullish order flow continues, and thus, you know, this is my target, this high, this previous weekly high. So until then, I'm kind of on the sidelines for this. Sure, I could trade in that direction. Again, I'd need to see some intraday price that would validate my idea. We don't really have too much in terms of a raise within here. The only thing that's really of interest is this inversion, which, can you really call it? If I just put it as, let me put it as red. So this inversion was obviously that catalyst for this morning, or at least what price respected. And then ultimately those Friday highs and then Tuesday highs are going to be my main targets for dollar CAD. So I'm kind of bullish on the dollar this week. At least if I had to choose a side, I'm on the side of dollar bulls. Gold. I think there was something about gold 10 weeks, 10 red weeks, because how many is this now? So we've had 8 bullish weeks straight. There was something, gold has never had more than 9 bullish weeks. And after those 9 bullish weeks, it typically had like a 20% drop or something, which wouldn't be too insane. See if we can find it. I think one was in like 1980. Was it in the 80s? How many is that? Oh, that's 10? Hold up. Okay. Oh. Wait, that's 10? No, that's not 10. Is that a bearish close? It's a bearish close. Woy. What's up, Benny Stacks? Shout out, Benny. I think that's Benny. No, I'm pretty sure that's Benny. So, 1980, I think. Was it? Oh yeah, it must have been here. Holy shit, when it just went parabolic. Damn. Anyway, gold to the moon, I guess. The fuck? is me blood. Yeah, I thought so. How high does this gold go? How high does it go? How long was this? 10,000 days of drawdown on gold. 3,000 days of drawdown on gold. How big is this? 639%. 8k gold? What do you think? Gold to 8k? That's a crazy looking chart though, right? That's a crazy looking chart. It goes to show how worthless the dollar has got over time, and how it's just accelerated drastically because of the amount of money printing that sort of happened in 2020, and just how the dollar just got obliterated. Like, this is not even like necessarily the value of gold, it's just the devaluation of the dollar. That's what I expected the charts of my shit coins to look like. Should have just bought gold. It's crazy, right? Literally. I got into gold way too late. I got it at like 3,300. Like here. Which is bullshit. Like, why did I buy gold so late? Anyway, I have no idea about gold, but it's just continues to rip. Wake up, buy gold, go back to bed, job done. That's literally all you had to do. I mean, this whole, well, maybe not this whole year, but yeah, this whole year. The question then remains is, typically you see a bull run in gold towards the end of the year, because I can't remember, something with like the Chinese and the Asian markets, they all end up buying gold towards the end of the year. Can't remember if it's just because of like gifts, or if it's like a special holiday or something. Obviously it's Christmas, so maybe that has a part of it. But I wonder what this parabolic run does to that phenomena. I'd be very interested to see. I wonder if like towards the end of this Q3 we might get a little bit of a late run in the dollar, I mean in gold, so it might start sort of correcting towards December, and then maybe January, February we start ripping again. Silver as well. Silver's been on a crazy run, and I bought silver at like 30. Huge spike. Now I'm thinking, where does this end up? Like an OT extension. I wonder if we have any extensions on here. 2768. Oh, I'm fucking miles off. 60, maybe $60. Copper. You want me to look at copper? I'll look at copper. Copper might be next. Whoa. I'm curious if there's any. I mean, the Problem with doing this is it's like it's all just confirmation bias. I don't really know. Maybe you're better off doing this level here. Oh shit. It's actually quite clean. So you got the high printed in. You got this sweep of the low here. So I'm drawing that from the low to the high after price broke. This overall shift. Same thing down here. I'm like sweep of this low. It's kind of funky. Then you had this shift, I guess, here. So I'm drawing, I mean, you could draw it there as well. 62 reacted, 1.6. Again, is this just confirmation bias? Maybe. Maybe $60 is the target for silver. Wonder if we can see similar here. Probably not. No, it just went absurd. Alright, let's see on silver then. Let's see on silver. Let's look at copper. Cooper. Maybe I should just look at I should really look at the futures chart instead, but I don't really care. Okay, maybe I'm going to have to with copper. I think I actually have copper somewhere on my commodities. Copper. Not too much difference. Could copper be next? What is copper used for? What's copper's biggest utility? Is it... It's just wiring? Plumbing and piping? So, cable. Yeah, electrical mainly. Alright, so we're thinking like once AI gets popping, they're gonna need some more copper for the data centers and shit. Economic growth is bullish for copper usually. Yeah, I mean, kind of makes sense. You can kind of see that now. I'm curious as well on like how rich in copper are we? Do you know what I mean? Copper, like what's the word? Not scarcity, but what's the opposite of scarcity? Don't know. Here we go, The Guardian. Demand for copper to drastically outstrip supply within decade. International Energy Agency says it is time to sound alarm over future shortages of metal needed for low carbon transition. Demand for copper needed for the transition to low carbon world will outstrip supply within the next decade. Supplies of the metal, a key component of every form of electrical energy system at present, will fall 30% short of the amount required by 2035 if nothing is done. Critical minerals that are necessary for manufacturing solar panels, wind turbines, transforming the global energy system, are overwhelmingly being refined in China, of course. They're mined in many locations. China processes more than 70% on average of the world's top 20 minerals needed. The stranglehold is increasing even though the prices of many critical minerals have fallen. Global demand is expected to outstrip supply by 2035. Alright, so maybe copper's the next one to rip. But would they let it rip because of how important it is? Good one to keep on the radar, that's for sure. Maybe we'll buy copper at some point. Need to do some more research on that. Shout out Red Rose. What else do we have? A Bitcoin. We need to go over Bitcoin as well. Alright, BTC. $100K level holding, huh? Price will never go below 100K. Never. Mark my words. Never. The bottom is in. Not financial advice. That's a look at that reaction from 100K. Holy shit. So clearly we're within this overall demand here. If I can even call that demand. It's more of like this whole region here, but I'm going to shorten it down. Why crypto dropped that hard? Why crypto dropped that hard? I'm getting a call from Sydney, Australia. Who's calling me from Sydney, Australia? State your name. Who is it? Should we answer it on the stream? No, I'm not doing that. So crypto dropped that hard. Why was it? Fuck. Something to do with Trump. I think wasn't it just to do with tariffs on China? I'm pretty sure it was tariffs on China, but then it dropped so hard for some bizarre reason because some insiders knew. I mean, it's some insiding shit going on. There's some dodgy dealings going on in this market, that's all I know. Catch you guys later, wishing more bread. Yo, shout out Benny. W's in the chat for Benny. But yeah, crypto, that was like, that was a huge deleveraging of so many leverage positions. Like, people were just leveraged to the tits. Tariffs are not bad for USD. And great. Tariffs are great for crypto. No, it's not great for crypto, just like it's not great for stocks. Because the fundamentals of at least Bitcoin and kind of the stock market are fairly similar in that respect. Like they kind of follow the same narrative. What the hell is this? When did I draw this in? Discount. Tap discount. That's a bit of a joke, to be fair. That's very, very clean. There was something that I did investigate. It was something to do with the 10-year. Yeah, so every time the Fed cuts, you get this bullish move in 10-year T-bonds. 10-year T-bonds. It's a very interesting if you want to think about like investing in bonds and stocks and stuff. You always got to look at the central bank. All right. Any of you boys got any questions? Any more for any more, let me know. Otherwise I'm going to end it. I'm going to end the stream here. Pretty much gone over everything that I want to talk about. Crypto. It's kind of pumping a little bit of a bid. Other than that, not too concerned with today. Taking it easy. So unless you boys got anything else, we'll kind of slowly wrap this one up. Let me know. What's happening on the phone? Nothing. No, I did not take a U. Not for me personally. Because hard time frame. No, partially, but not. Wasn't really the deciding factor. Based on my data and the way that price was looking and reacting, it didn't make sense for me. It's not clear enough on a Monday. It's 250-50 for a Monday. Like if I'm trading Monday, price action's got to be clear, clean, and obvious. For me, it just wasn't. Ultimately, it's valid for sure. I would have just liked a little bit more of a fractal for a Monday. I want to see clear structure. If that makes sense. Again, it's very difficult to teach discretion. So don't try and copy. Don't always try and copy my decision making. Ultimately, you execute the plan, and then over time, you just build your own personal discretion, like of the trades that you want to take and that you don't want to. But you can only get there if you consistently execute and you see a large enough sample and you experience enough number of trades. Because the problem is people try and apply discretion when they've not built up any level of experience for discretion to be valuable to them. To most people trying to trade, discretion is not a valuable thing because it's not discretion. It's just emotional reactions to price. It's fear, it's greed, it's all these kind of emotions. It's not good discretion, right? And there's a very fine line between discretion and emotional trading. So that's why it's important in the beginning not to apply any discretion. Just execute the strategy, execute your edge that you've tested. You build the data, you build the experience, you build the emotional control and the ability to see price action for what it is, and trust your gut instinct, knowing that it's not you purely acting on emotions. Like, most people just trying to rush through this whole process. I was exactly the same. I did the exact same thing, where I was given a mechanical approach. I was given a strategy that worked. All I had to do was follow the rules, right? That's all you got to do. Follow the rules. You build discipline. You build emotional control. You build experience. You build, that pattern recognition. You build those reps, right? You build those reps, the patience, all of it. You build that. That's the foundation. But everyone wants to rush the foundation, right? No one wants the boring stuff. Like, nah, give me the exciting stuff that I have to apply my thinking, because people think that they can think better than the market and they know more. The reality is that you can't. You don't have the capabilities. You don't have the experience within you to do that. I thought I did. We all think we're better than the simple stuff, the easy stuff. But that's where true mastery, true discipline, true confidence, true patience comes from, is mastering the simple stuff, mastering the little things. I rushed through that whole process, went straight to discretionary trading, went straight to the complicated stuff. Put me back years, wasted years, because I didn't lay the correct foundations and I didn't trust the edge that I was given, because I wanted it to be exciting, because everyone thinks trading should be exciting, it should be fast paced, we should be clicking buttons all the time. No, just wait for your setups, build it over time. Like, there's this saying that Alex Hormozy says. He says, the long route is the shortcut, because the shortcut never gets you there. And it's true, because if you don't lay the correct foundations, you're constantly trying to shortcut your way there, but you never get there. So the long way, doing things correctly, laying the correct foundations, is what gets you to your ultimate end goal, which for most people is consistent profitability, right? So realize that it takes time. That's okay. But the long route is the shortcut. That's the one that gets you there quickest. And with that lecture, I am going to call it a day here. Obviously, Mohart, I'll see you in the Discord. Everyone else, thanks for tuning in. Appreciate all the love, support. I hope you will have a great rest of your week. Have a great rest of your day. And I'll see you all next week. Watch it back, Brad. Watch the video back. See you later, boys. Ciao, ciao.